Hello everybody and welcome to the Open eCry market commentary for the week of July 29th. My name is Toby Gennaro from Trade with Precision and just coming to you this week with the outlook for the markets. And starting things off here by taking a look at the S&P 500 ES futures contracts as we normally do, and taking a look at some of the higher time frames here to get the direction on the markets. But looking at the monthly chart here, long trend here, don't know that we have anything different. We do have a little bit of overextension from the moving average here, but that's been pretty consistent over the last 6-7 months. As we move over to the weekly chart, we did get a nice pullback here, and then had this nice run up here over the past month, and so we are getting a bit overextended on the weekly chart. We've got some indecisive candles here forming at the top of this trend, which usually potentially might signify that there might be a little bit of a pullback here. So we could get a pullback into I don't know, some of these levels here, like right around maybe 1645 would be one potential. But for right now, as we move down to the daily chart, we've got a couple of had a little bit of a pullback here over a couple of days, had a test of this, basically the 1670 level, which was prior resistance before, and came back down, just did a touch of that, had a couple other touches in through here as well, and then put in a couple of nice rejection candles there right in the middle of the buy zone on the daily chart, which makes me think that we're probably not going to be getting that pullback just yet, but we may get another move higher here, at least back up to the most recent high before we see that pullback maybe on the daily chart. So we'll just have to see here what happens this week. We got a lot of news coming out from the Feds and a lot of other news, ISM manufacturing news coming out, so it's going to be a pretty news-heavy week, but from what the charts are telling us, technically here, the move should be higher. And so once we get a break of the high here on this candle, which would be 1689, once we get a break at the high there, we should be able to start to look higher in the market here until the news starts to hit on Wednesday. If we move down in the time frames, the 480 doesn't really look any different. Have a nice bullish candle there, have a little bit of a flat level setting up right there. And we're starting with a couple candles consolidating up against that flat level. If we move down a time frame, we can see that that level here a little bit better. We've got some divergence on this double bottom structure right here, both on the 120 and the 60-minute time frame. Tells us that more than likely we're going to get a sharper move up beyond this double bottom structure. So I think overall things are looking fairly positive and fairly bullish, as we have been for a while. As you know, you've been following the S&P. We've been in a bull market here for 4 years. And so things are getting a little bit toppy, but these markets can still move considerably higher. So really taking this trade setup off of the daily chart and the 480, and looking for the market to push higher, at least back up into that 1695 level. And then going back to the year 2000, there's a 1709 level, which would be another form of resistance, which is a little bit of a ways off. So overall, things looking pretty bullish on the S&P. And on the small cap stocks, looking at the Russell contract here, again on the higher time frames, monthly chart. Again, nice run up here. We're going on, what, about 6, almost a year with really no pullback here on the monthly chart. So we're obviously getting overextended here on the monthly chart with the Russell contract here. Again, some overextension. The same as the ES really had, a 4 or 5 week run up right here. So we've got some overextension from this 1,000 level. So we're getting a nice indecisive candle right there. We might get a pullback down to this 1,000 level. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this week. It can take a long time for these weekly retracements to get back to those levels. As we go down to the daily chart, things are looking pretty similar as they were on the ES. As opposed to having really 2 bullish candles, we have 1 bullish candle here in the buy zone between that 10-20 period moving average. So a nice little trend flow set up here. We do have a break of the high of that candle, the high being 1052.80, and then the break of the high was a 1054.30. Getting a little bit of a pullback here. We can still get some 50% retracements here, and then continue to move past the high of that setup candle, and then go back to the highs of at least probably what do we experience there? The highs of around 1057 was the high, so we're pretty much already there. Not much of a pullback. If we go down to the 480 chart, we get another nice bullish candle right there in the buy zone, and it looks like if we get a break at the high of that candle, it looks like we're going to be going back up at least to the highs of 1057 and beyond. So things looking again pretty bullish here on even the small cap stocks. Obviously, we're going to get some kind of a pullback here, but this could be next week, could be in 2 weeks. We just don't know. We do have a lot of again news coming out this week, so it could be a fundamental move or some news that brings the market back down to this level. So I'd be a little cautious this week on the markets since we do have a lot of fundamental news coming out. But we do have some nice technical setups here on the charts, and the news really doesn't come out and hit until Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays where you're getting the majority of the news. So things looking still pretty good, pretty positive here, and pretty upbeat on the Russell contract. And looking at foreign currency pairing here, the dollar CAD, and just go ahead and take it from the top down here, looking at the monthly chart. Really for the past couple of years have been really in a range here from this 10, basically the 106 level, all the way down to this, basically the 98 level, and just kind of ranging in between. But even though it looks pretty tight on a monthly chart, these are some pretty long, significant trends right here. And as we look at one of the trends on the weekly chart, pretty nice trend right here. Higher highs, higher lows, and we've got some pullbacks right back into the moving averages, some setup candles for ourselves. We've got the 50, the 20, the 10 in alignment, and we're just getting another pullback. We're right smack in the middle of the 10-20 period moving average. You got the first candle getting set up here for the week. So if we can get a nice small bullish candle here over the next week or two, might give us an inkling to give us a setup to move higher from here. Daily chart's really not telling us anything. You can tell the market's just kind of moving around in an uptrend there. And the 480 doesn't do a whole lot for us, doesn't really tell us anything even with the indicators. What I was looking at were some of these other charts here, like the 240. We have a series of equal lows here on the 240. I wouldn't be interested in really taking this as a break, a flat level break to the downside, even though everything is rolled over and in that direction. We do have some divergence here showing up, slight on the 240, a little bit more divergence here on the 120-minute chart, and then we still have some divergence here on the 60-minute chart. So quite a bit of divergence there. It looks like it might be putting in a bottoming structure there and really kind of leveling out there at that 102 level, and we might see a bounce there based on this buy zone right here in the weekly chart. That's what's happened before. We could move a little bit farther down here, but I'd really be waiting for one of these bullish candles to set up in the buy zone on the weekly chart, and then if we can get a break of the high of that candle, then we can potentially move back up to this 106 level and then finish out that range movement, at least on the monthly chart. So that's kind of some of the levels there to look for on the dollar CAD. Looks like it's a possibility, so we'll just have to wait here. That's going to take some time to set up. Won't all happen this week, so we might need maybe 2 or 3 weeks on that one. But good longer-term trade to stock on the trend flow strategy. So there's the outlook for the markets for this week. We'd like to thank you all for watching the Open Cry market commentary for the week of July 29th, and we look forward to speaking to you next week on the market update.